How you know? It's your boy, Playboi Carti, Lil Uzi Vert.
Guys, what the hell is going on between Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti? Now, after the past few weeks, these two former friends, they've seen their friendship unravel over a heated feud across social media. Now, these two started out as collaborators working on songs like Of Course We Ghetto Flowers in 2016, which they then followed up with Woke Up Like This and Lookin' in 2017. At the time of those releases, they were each other's biggest fans. Now, Uzi, he even helped promote Carti's self-titled mixtape where he stated, "He dropped the best damn album that I ever heard." And when asked, Carti would often classify his relationship with Uzi as two friends being a part of the same team. So are these two just trolling us now, or are they seriously going at one another's throats?
I don't even want this no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't.
It's lit.
Carti know damn well he gonna get that back. Child flex. I know you is, bro. Cause if you wasn't, I was gonna get it. No, I knew he was playing.
In late 2019, rumors started circulating that maybe this relationship wasn't as perfect as we thought. So today we're hitting you guys with a special edition of our Versus series, where we take a look at the unfolding beef between these two superstars and determine a winner based upon a series of 3 different categories. Now we're going to be going through their Billboard numbers, their collaborations, and their clout. Now a little later in this video, you guys are going to have your say via poll above my head on who you want to vote for. And then we're gonna have a true victor, one man standing head and shoulders above the other. At least here on this channel. Cause that's the bottom line. I'm Michael McCrudden, and I said so. Alright, before we get down to business, let's go through some quick housekeeping on the backstory on this beef. Now, Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti, they both broke out around the same time as one another. Now, after working together on the aforementioned tracks, the two decided to take their partnership further, and in September of 2017, Carti took to Snapchat to announce that they were working on a joint mixtape titled 1629. Now, less than a month later, the new single, Break the Bank, it was leaked. Now, the duo, they then announced an accompanying 18-city tour to promote the album. But only days later, Lil Uzi, he backed out, and when asked about why, he reported in a since-deleted tweet by saying that he couldn't go on tour because he needed time to focus. Almost a year later in the collaboration album, it had still yet to materialize. But when asked by radio station Real 92.3, Carti said that he and Vert already had hundreds of songs recorded with one another.
Like, how many records do y'all have together that we haven't heard? That are just sitting on a hard drive somewhere?
Like 100.
100?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We been recording since like 2015, you know what I'm saying? So we just like, we know what we gotta do. We know what we capable of. It is what it is.
That's like 10 albums worth for the record.
Yeah.
Flash forward another year, and their friendship, it began to show signs of real strain. Now, Uzi, he participated in a Twitter Q&A where he was asked if he and Carti were still on good terms, and his response, it was a simple one-word answer. Now, a few months later, Uzi confused matters more by hopping on Twitter again, and this time to say that the two, they weren't at war. Now, when fans inquired if Carti would be featured on Uzi's soon-to-be-released album, Eternal A Take, Uzi responded by saying he was unable to locate Carti at this moment. Now, when fans pressed further and brought up the supposed 100 of unreleased tracks, Uzi responded with this tweet. When Eternal A Take was released, fans began to ask Carti when his next album would come out. But Carti, he remained mum on the topic. Now, instead, Lil Uzi, he answered for him by replying that when Carti dropped his new album, Lil Uzi, he was gonna drop a whole new album as well. In April of 2020, Playboi Carti, he finally came out of seclusion, dropping a new single, At May. Now, the song was met with a mixed reaction from fans, and Uzi, he couldn't help but chime in with his own opinion on the track. Now, understandably, most fans, they took this response as further proof that the two were feuding, and that Lil Uzi, he was looking to fan the flames. Now, he pushed things even further when he replied to a fan's positive take on Carti's new single with laughing emoji. Now, that has also since been deleted. Man, that's gotta hurt. It's like someone coming into my comment section is just ripping me a new one. Now then, on April 16th, things took an even stranger turn when both rappers, they tweeted out the exact same thing. Monday and Monday. Now, as you can see, that text, it's written the exact same way in both messages. Now, they were also posted within minutes of one another. With Carti, he dropped his first. Now, some fans began to believe that this beef, it was starting to give off a funky type of smell. Now, maybe it's all being staged. But other fans, they were quick to point out that Lil Uzi's tweet about dropping music at the same time as Carti, and with Carti having published his tweet first, well, it follows the reason that Lil Uzi was just trolling his former friend by mimicking his tweet. Now, when that Monday came and there was nothing new dropped by anyone, well, Uzi, he took to Twitter one last time, where he posted. Now, I think that response, it gives credence to the idea that this beef is almost entirely one-sided, and it seems to be taking place primarily on the side of Lil Uzi Vert as he continues to troll a former friend and collaborator. Now, after all, besides dropping a new single, well, Playboi Carti, he has remained dead quiet on the topic. Alright, now that their backstory is out of the way, let's dive into these 3 rounds to determine who should win this beef based solely on their work and reputation. Now, typically we announce winners from our previous versus videos, but I just filmed our French Montana versus Young Thug like a minute ago, so I've yet to see the results. I can only show them to you here on the screen. Congrats to the winner. Alright, for the first round, we're going to talk about Billboard Numbers.
Round 1, fight!
Now, despite both getting their start around the same time, well, Lil Uzi Vert's body of work is far more substantial than Playboi Carti's at the time of this recording. Now, both Love Is Rage 2 and Eternal Atake hit #1 on the Billboard 200 and the R&B and hip-hop charts. Now, that's an extremely impressive feat that very few artists have managed to accomplish. Now, he's also had singles that have tracked huge numbers, like EXO Tour Life, that was in 2017, and that peaked at #7 on the Billboard US charts. There was also Foot Size Shuffle from this year, and that peaked at the #5 spot. Now, Carti, meanwhile, he only had one album make it onto the Billboard chart, and that was Die Lit in 2018. Now, it debuted at the #3 spot on the US charts and #2 on the R&B and hip hop chart. Now, that's still a pretty remarkable accomplishment, but it's not quite the same level of success that Lil Uzi Vert has enjoyed. Now, Playboi Carti has also never had a single of his where he's the lead artist track higher than the #29 spot, which Magnolia accomplished in 2017. Now, that same song, it reached the 11th spot on the R&B and hip hop chart. Now, having said all that, Whole Lotta Red is Playboi Carti's forthcoming album, and it's supposed to drop like the end of this month. So these numbers, they may see a boost, but as it stands right now, well, I gotta give the win to Lil Uzi Vert. He wins round 1 for sure.
Round 2, fight!
Alright, let's move on to collabs. Alright, here we're gonna take a look at those hit songs that these two weren't the lead artist on. Now, this time we'll start off with Playboi Carti, and he's been featured in singles like Telephone Calls with A$AP Rocky, Tyler the Creator, and Young Kalish. That's as well as Summer Bummer with Lana Del Rey and A$AP Rocky once more. Now, he's also reached the #98 spot on the Billboard charts with Get Dripped, co-starring Lil Yachty. Now, those numbers, they're not bad, but they're well, they're just not jaw-dropping, you know what I mean? Now, switching back to Lil Uzi Vert, he found himself having a #1 hit in 2016 with Bad and Bougie, which featured the Migos, and poor Takeoff, well, he got left off. Then in 2018, he hit the #16 spot with the Travis Scott song, Watch, which also featured Kanye West. Now, finally, in 2019, he once again made the charts, this time climbing as high as the #49 spot with Reply, a collab featuring A Boogie with the Hoodie. Now, looking at these projects once again, well, Lil Uzi Vert's overwhelming body of work compared to Playboi Carti's, it really stands out. Now, there's no question that Carti has had some serious bangers on his hands with some talented co-stars, but his volume of work, it can't hold a candle to Lil Uzi Vert's output, and none of his songs, they've reached the heights of the success Lil Uzi Vert has found. Now, as much as I hate to say it, but that's another W for Lil Uzi Vert. Yikes, I'm starting to feel bad here. Maybe my man Carti can pull a miracle out of his hat for round 3. Let's see.
Round 3, fight!
Finally, we're going to take a look at clout. Now, this is a hard category to define. After all, how do you truly determine someone's power and ability to get something done? So for this, well, we're going to take a look at each artist's social media numbers and then combine that with the types of artists that they're willing to collaborate with. And then we're going to determine a winner, and I'm really praying for Playboi Carti. I mean, you can't lose all 3 rounds. That looks bad. All right, first up, let's look at Lil Uzi Vert's social media numbers. Now, over on Twitter, he's got over 6.7 million followers, which is crazy good. He's also got 12.3 million followers on Instagram, with over 2.3 million people listening to his tracks over on SoundCloud, and north of 6.82 million subscribers on YouTube, eagerly awaiting new music video drop. Now all these numbers, they're mighty impressive. Moving over to Playboi Carti's feeds, well, he has over 1.4 million followers on Twitter, 4.9 million subscribers on Instagram, and 800,000 listeners on SoundCloud. He's also got 1.13 million subscribers on YouTube. Now this is not looking good for Playboi Carti, but before we close the book on this feud once and for all, well, let's take a look at some of the artists out there repping both of these men. Now Lil Uzi Vert, he has worked with the likes of Wiz Khalifa, Future, Fabulous, ASAP Mob, Juice WRLD, and Lil Pump. Playboi Carti, on the other hand, he's worked with Joey Fats, Tyler the Creator, Lana Del Rey, and Lil Yachty. Now no matter which way you cut it, both men, they've worked with some extremely talented partners, but at the end of the day, well, you gotta admit that Lil Uzi Vert, he's worked with the bigger movers and shakers than the majority of those that Carti has worked with. Which means the ultimate winner of this versus, it's Lil Uzi Vert. I don't think that's ever happened here. I don't think we've ever given 3 rounds to one artist. Now there is a way for Playboi Carti to redeem himself. That is if you guys vote for him in the poll above my head. Also sound off in the comments down below who you're rooting for. We'll announce the winner in our next versus video. My name is Mike McCrad. Thanks for checking out this video. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. I think that's everything. Okay. Boom!